I remember the house I used to stay ilikuwa na steep stairs. Unajua matumbo sasa ziko huku, hata kunibeba ni shida. We struggled. Na akaniweka kwa gari yake. Na ile kukula nilikuwa nimekula sasa, now that zimepigwa na hewa, I had to vomit everything. Na hapo ndio ile time zikitoka, mimi sisikii uchungu by the way. Ni ile kuogopa, naona hii ni kifo sasa. But after vomiting, the epigastric pain ilinichoma. Now I was screaming in pain. And the more I scream, the more zinatoka.
Praise the name of the Lord. My name is Reverend Ruth Wamoyo, and as always, I'm excited to be your gorgeous woman show live on CTN TV and in our social media platforms. The purpose and the motivation for this show is not new to many of you, because many people have given and shared their testimonies of how God has inspired them and encouraged them. And I would request you kindly share with another woman, let them know that this is happening today. My guest today is called Rhoda Nkonge. Her story is a sad one, but ends up with a great testimony. A wrong diagnosis of disease by a doctor who said she had heart disease, which now later brought complications, and she had kidney problems. To an extent, she was paralyzed for 2 years, going through school. But eventually, she's seated here, walking on her feet, having a smile on her face, because Jesus is indeed a wonderful healer. So you're welcome so much, Rhoda.
Thank you, Pastor Wamoyo.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Yes.
I take this as a honor to be in your show this morning.
Yes.
I thank God.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, so we have like some few minutes that you can introduce to us and tell us. If somebody asked you, who is Rhoda? Tell us who she is.
Okay, Rhoda is a mother to 3 children.
Yeah.
I am a wife.
Yes.
I am an intercessor.
Ah, nice.
I am an accountant.
By profession.
Yeah, and I'm a singer also. Yeah,
You sing.
yeah, I
Can
sing.
you give us just a taste of what you do? Of
Okay,
the song you've sung.
okay, there's a song I have sung. It's, we are often troubled, but never crushed. Sometimes in doubts, but never in despair. There are many enemies, but never without a friend. In the battery hard times, we are not destroyed.
Hey, man, you're a lover of country music. It sounds like that. Awesome. Did that come out of your experience?
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a joy.
Yeah.
So where do you come from? Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, okay. I was born in Meru, a place called Chogoria.
Okay.
I come from a family of 5 children,
Okay.
4 girls and 1 boy. I am the second born. The boy is the first born.
Okay.
So I acted like a firstborn now that all others are girls.
Yes.
Yeah, and I come from a family where my parents were born again. They are still born again.
Amen.
A family of teachers, a strict background. And going to church was a norm for us. You'd never skip church for any reason.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, I grew up as a normal child. There was a trend in our family that when you get to class 5, you'd join a boarding school. But for my case, it was different. When I got to class 5, I never went to a boarding school. And I kept on wondering why, because I knew my parents were able to pay the fees. But I developed some bitterness out of that, by the way.
Like you, because you did not go to boarding school?
Yes, like others. But when I have grown up now, I came to realize because my dad loved me so much and he never wanted to be separated from me.
After all those years of bitterness?
Imagine.
How I love the way you smile when you talk about your dad. How was your relationship with him?
I was daddy's girl. Now that I was the first girl, named after his mother.
I tell you, now that made it even more sweeter.
Yeah, I was daddy's girl. So I grew up a normal life. I never used to get sick until when I got to Form 1. There was a routine in the school where I joined that we would go for cross country every evening. And so I would run like other children. But one evening, I realized my feet were getting swollen.
Okay.
And this day I could not run. And when I reported to the teacher on duty, who happened.
This is still a day school, yeah?
No,
Now
this
you're
is
in
a boarding school. Now I'm
Okay,
in
before
Form
we now
1.
get there, so where did you go for your primary school? Did you perform well?
Okay, I schooled in the village.
Okay,
Yeah,
Shogori.
yeah, not Shogori, a place called Ngero.
Ngero.
So I went to Ngero Primary School where
Yes.
my dad was the head teacher. My mom was also a
Now-
teacher in
now
the same
hold
school.
your horses there. Your dad was a head teacher.
Yes.
No wonder you're a good communicator.
Wow, thank
Yes,
you.
are. So how was it growing up with, like your father being the boss?
No, I never used to do any mistakes because once I'm caught in a mistake, I would be punished double. My dad is there, my
I
mom
thought
is
you were the
there.
favorite, he would spare you.
No, I wouldn't do any mistake. People would speak in mother tongue. I would be the only child who has not spoken in mother tongue, the whole class, because I feared to be beaten. So I performed fairly well, and I was told to repeat. And funny enough, the letter I got after repeating, the same school I was called the first time. So I went to the same school. It was like repeating didn't make much sense.
Wow. We will take a break as we hear this interesting story of Rhoda. See you after the break. Welcome back, our viewer. My guest is Rhoda Nkonge. Her story of a misdiagnosis. Of course, I don't know how it felt, but she'll tell us. So, from one now, you went to which school?
So
This school
I
you
went
were
to
called
ask
twice.
Ngaita Girls. It is still in the village.
It is still in the village.
Yeah, so I went to
Even
that
they
school.
did not even respect your repeating. They still called you the same school.
Yeah. So now I was here, we were running every evening, and this day now my legs are swollen. So I report to the deputy headmistress who feels like I was pretending. And she tells me, no, you'll have to run. And I ran, and in the morning my legs were so big. And when I report it, I think they see now it is serious. And now I was told to go home. I be taken to the hospital. I went to the hospital where they diagnosed the kidney disease that time, but they never released the results to us. They felt I should take some medicine and see how it was going to work for me.
Did they do tests?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
So when I was given those medicine, I went home and the problem persisted. And I went back after 2 days. And when I went back, that is the time the doctor asked my mom, were you given any injections? My mom wondered what kind of injections. And that is when she was told that your daughter is suffering from rheumatic heart disease. And I was put on benzodiazepine penicillin, a very painful injection from them. And I was taken back to school. Those injections were so painful that even walking straight was a problem.
No, the injections of those days had something in them, and they were big.
Yes, they would divide it into two, so that one on this side, the other one on this other side.
Thank God nowadays it's no longer that painful.
Yeah, now, when I was in class, my fellow students would laugh at me because I would walk funny because of the pain. Na ile pain ingesukuma close to the next month. I used to get 8 every month. So by the time next month inafika, ile uchungu ya kwanza hata ijaisha.
So they would spot you everywhere with those injections?
Yes, they would inject me every month. So this continued for some months.
Did you improve?
I was getting better, worse, yani hivyo too. So one time tulienda hospitali, and when we got to the hospital, the queue was so long, and my mom now was giving up. After staying in the hospital for the whole day, it's now 4 p.m. My name has not been called out because there are so many patients who are supposed to see the doctor, the pediatrician. For that reason, I was a kid. So my mom told me, just wake up, let us go home. And I asked her, but I've not been treated. My mom told me, let's go home. We went and boarded a car, a matatu, and on our way, my mom told the conductor, just stop, let me alight from this place. And the conductor asked her, have you reached where you are going? And she said, no, let me just stop here. And when we stopped there, looking on the left side, we saw a hospital called St. Lucy's Hospital, near Chuka, those sides. And we headed to that hospital. And upon reaching there, my mom saw the doctor she was looking for the longest time. And she just bowed down and said, I am tired of all this now. I give everything to you, take over. And this doctor was wondering, why is she talking like this? And now we had carried the document, which was like this, because every time we would have notes written. And the doctor went through those notes, and she told me, let me see your hands. And she checked my hand, and she told my mom, this is not true. Your daughter does not have rheumatic heart disease. What I suspect is peptic ulcers because of the drugs that she has been given. So they created a lot of acid in her, and that is now what is making her to be this ill. So I was given medications from that time, and I was told now I would be put on a special diet because I would not eat everything, definitely because of the acid. And I was given a letter to take to the school. When I went to school, the response was not so good because now my sister, I used to school with my sister the same school. My dad used to be the PTA chairman in that school.
Oh, wow.
And my sister used to be the deputy head girl. Now, upon giving the letter, the mistress says, no, we cannot give you a special diet simply because they are going to feel like I'm favoring one family. Because now your dad here is the PTA chairman, your sister is
And
the
yet
deputy.
she knows about your medical record.
Yes, but it was serious. She told my dad, you are going to bring the potatoes that the doctor has prescribed, that she's going to eat potatoes and peas, the minji now. And that is going to be a diet. And we are also going to give, you are going to bring milk that is going to complement the diet. And my dad agreed to it. So I would eat that food, and I continued for some time and with the drugs now. And then one morning I wake up and my legs are big. They're swollen again. And now teachers are conversant with my story. So anytime I report a case, they would understand. And the teacher told me, no, go home, you'll be taken to the hospital. I was taken to that same hospital. And when the doctor saw me, he told my mom, I'm sorry, I suspect a kidney problem. The tests were conducted and it was true I was developing some kidney
So initially that
problem.
is what you had.
It's just a complication from one step to another.
Because you said initially your legs were swelling.
Yes, but now it is not the heart disease this time.
Yeah,
it
they
is
say
the
the
kidney
kidney.
disease.
Yeah.
And this time now, I'm told I will never take any salt my entire life. I was okay because I felt I've been through a lot. Now I'm in Form 3, remember? I've been through a lot, so salt is not a big deal. So I went home and my mom explained to my dad what had happened, and my dad looked at me funny and he became harsh. And
Hey. Why?
do you know what we are talking about here? He's asking me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm sick. Have you imagined the special diet you are on without salt? And this is when reality hit me hard. But it's true. This is serious. How do you take potatoes with no salt all your life? And I started thinking, but then I had gotten saved in Form 1. And I had faith in God. And this is the time I told God, but then you are going to work out this one for me. You must heal me. And I made up my mind and I said, the salt that I was told not to take, I am going to eat it raw. And I am going to get healed.
So tell me now, this time they've diagnosed you with kidney disease.
Yes.
Have they recommended any treatment apart from salt?
I am on drugs, yes.
Okay.
And now salt is not going to be part of my diet for the drugs to work for me. Wow. So I tell God now, you have to heal me. And the salt that I'm told not to eat, this is what is going to heal me. I went back to school with a letter indicating that I should not eat
Now,
salt.
plus the potato, peas, milk diet,
Yes,
now remove salt.
Without salt, yes.
Oh,
So the mistress told the students, if you see her eating salt, let me know. Because I used to fall. When we are at the assembly, I would fall down. Because she's just getting sick and you're just carrying her around. So when she eats salt, let me know. And I would eat that salt.
Why would you fall?
Because of the pain on my chest.
You used to feel pain on the
Yes,
chest.
yes, and I would shake and I would just collapse. Wow. So now I eat salt and I eat salt for close to 2 weeks. It is time for my appointment and I go back to the hospital.
So where were you getting the salt and they had been told to?
In the kitchen. I would go in the kitchen. There is that salt that is kept hata kwa dining kando. I would eat it. And when those students see me, they say, you're eating salt and you don't know how to eat salt. Wait until you fall down. Nobody will carry you. So now when we went back to the hospital, the tests were conducted. No trace of rheumatic heart disease, no trace of peptic ulcers, no trace of kidney disease. That is how God healed me from the 3 diseases. And I went back to my normal life. Now I am through with high school. I am called in a certain, I was given 3 letters actually. Eldoret Polytechnic, Nairobi University. Eldoret Polytechnic, I was to do business administration. Nairobi University, I was to do library studies. And St. Paul's Theological, I was to do business administration. I don't know for what reason my dad chose to take me to Eldoret Polytechnic. And that is where I went for my college. And I remember the first time I reported to school, I saw a beautiful girl came running and a boy hugged her and turned around. And my dad told me, have you seen this? And
in the presence of your dad?
Yes. And I made up my mind that day I will never date a man.
Oh, they were dating? Or they were not brother and sister?
No. So
okay,
I made up my mind that I wouldn't date any man until I finished college. And I studied in this school for close to 2 years. The 3rd year we were supposed to go for our attachment. And I got an attachment with Uchumi Supermarket, Meru branch. So during this time, the manager used to love the way I used to work. And he told me, but once you're through with college, just come, I'm going to employ you. Which I did. When I went there, now this is after school, when I went to that place, he just told me, I never called you. And that time, my dad had sold a cow so that I would get money to get me an accommodation. And I was like, how can you say you didn't call me, yet you told me to report? He just denied having called me. And at this time, I was getting disappointed. I just went back home and I was feeling so bad. I could not even explain to my sisters what had happened to me. You've gotten a job and all of a sudden you are back here. That money went like that.
And that is from Eldoret to Meru?
No, I went
for
attachment in Meru.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I was frustrated. I decided to go back to Eldoret. There's a friend of mine was still in college. So I visited her that evening. And when I got there, I used to love Weekend Challenge, Easy Makesha. I used to love them so much now that I was born again. And at this time, my friend was on a Weekend Challenge and I decided to join the challenge. And when I was there, a certain guy comes and tells me, Rhoda, God brought you. I'm like, oh, what are you talking about? Which God brought me? Me, I'm here because of my frustrations. You're talking of God having brought me. So the challenge was over and we went to the sister's house. And now this man is following me. And this man is a man I used to know when I was back in that school. We used to be just friends. And he tells me, I want to talk to you. And I tell him, okay, talking to me doesn't cost much. Just talk to me. And he tells me,
Aushiki?
no, God told me you are going to be my wife. I'm like, is this man serious? Having been brought up in a Meru tribe, this are Luo. The two cannot work. Definitely in my mind it cannot work. And so I get to the house and I tell my friend, hey, this man, the way he's talking, mimi simuelewi.
Umekuwa of age na uelewi.
Na tumecheka hiyo story. You remember the promise I did to myself and even to my dad, I would never date anyone.
Yeah.
And now God has made it so well that I'm through with college. Now nimerudi tu ile because of frustration, now that nimekosa kazi. So naamua now to run away from this. These people are still going for zinaitwa nini, mission in Kakamega. So I decided to join them in Kakamega. Funny enough, the guy also has come for the mission. Of course,
Kakamega we go. Definitely.
So tukaenda, and there was a conviction in my heart. This is the man. And now I'm born again. Yes, now I'm born again, but I'm trying to look Wameru na Wajaluo.
Those are two different cultures ambazo haziingianangi.
And my grandma had warned me, vile umeenda huko kwa Wakalenjin, usitulete watu wa hizo kabila.
Jesus.
So now I'm confused, and now I stick to my God. I'm telling God, if this thing is true, do this for me. Let this man bring me a flower. And funny enough, tunatembea tu, he comes running with a flower.
Jehovah.
No, God, you're not serious.
Our viewers, you're going to take a break on that flower note, and we now understand whether the flower worked, whether there was another test. See you after the break. So now the brother after prayer comes with a flower.
He has brought me a flower, and I'm like, God, you're not serious. Kwani God uelewi huyu ni Mjaluo, mimi ni Mmeru. I still tell God another one. Mimi nataka kwenye tu nitakuwa, wacha tokezee from, nilisema right side ama left side. And funny enough, the following day, nikitembea tu, ndiye huyu. I'm like, God, no. This is not true.
So bado mission inaendelea?
Bado mission inaendelea, tunaendelea kupreach by the way, lakini hizi vitu zina happen tu. Now nikasikia now hii pressure, it is too much. I always tell people there's the last one yenyewe ilifanya nijue ukweli, this is the guy, which was true also. I may not disclose it here. And now mimi sitaki kukubali. Even after hizi vitu zote zimekuja, sitaki kufanya nini, kukubali.
Na sasa umepona kabisa, no ulcers, miguu imepona.
Hata sukuma wiki mimi nakula.
Hata chumvi.
Zote nakula. So now I decide to run away again, juu sitaki kumwambia ukweli. And I go back to my sister. My sister was staying in Nairobi. Naenda na nakaa pale. Sasa ile kitu inanisukuma, sina peace sasa. Sina peace, nasema aki Mungu, hii ndio nini?
So beyond kukuambia God spoke to me, you be my wife, he never asked you for a date or anything? Ama vile aliona umereact?
Alisema he has been praying and he is sure about it. I may run, I may say yes or no, but he is sure I am the one. So
sasa yako na job?
Ana job ako kole. Mimi nilimaliza kole before yeye. So now nimeenda Nairobi, justaki kumwambia ukweli, ile kuepa. Now I come back again and tell him the answer. Enyewe huyu Mungu wako naye, it is true, juu mimi sina amani, it is true. Na tukaanza kudate.
Sasa hii amani hauna, ni upendo ama una miss?
God has convicted me, lakini I'm running away from the truth. Unaona? So tukakuwa sasa.
So niambie, acha tukakaya poroda. Uniambie sasa hii amani imepotea.
Amani imepotea.
When you are thinking about him, now you know what your grandmama amekwambia. You know the cultural issues. So how did you process that?
Okay, nilikuwa na fight hizo vitu na the will of God. Na finally sasa now that sina amani, hii kitu, I was just a peaceful lady. All of a sudden I don't have peace. Na najua ni hiyo answer yenye sijasema. And funny enough, the time I told him yes, I just became a happy person. Na wakati nafikiria how my parents are going to react, nilikuwa na answer moja. Okay, you may say these other tribes wako na issues, but me I believe he is born again. So that makes the whole difference.
So sasa umerudi ni Kakamega ama ulirudi Eldoret?
Nirudi Eldoret, kwa maana alikuwa huko.
Ukarudi Eldoret?
Na nikamwambia yes, na nikarudi Nairobi tena.
So mlidate kutoka, ulimwambia yes alafu ukatoroka?
Sasa
hakuna dating hakuna. Rhoda, I'm trying to understand.
Long distance. So amemaliza kole, amekuja Nairobi kwa anko yake. ameanza kukaa na anko yake. Mimi nami nimekaribia sasa, nimeenda kwa kazini yangu. No, nimetoka kwa sistangu, nimeenda kwa kazini yangu Limuru, and now we would see each other.
So now dating started. So you said yes before you dated?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay. Only in God that can happen.
Dating started. Na tukadate since 2007 up to 2009. Tulikuwa tunaonana hivyo 2009. And one time I wake up, I'm feeling funny. Na I'm excited also. Kwenda kwa hospitali, nimetestiwa. I'm expectant. And I'm jumping all over. Na wamama wanashangaa, what is wrong with this little girl? Na mjama anashtuka. How now? Unafurahi nini? Sina kazi, huna kazi.
Okay.
Na niko kwa kazini yangu, yako kwa kazini yake. And I told him one thing that I always tell.
So all this time now you started becoming intimate or something? Okay.
Yes, and now I'm pregnant and I'm excited about it. Now, I'm from a Christian family, remember?
And your father is a former headmaster. Your mother is a teacher.
And also
and they are born again. They are also preachers.
in the church.
Ooh, and you are happy.
And I'm happy. I don't know why I'm happy, by the way. Na sasa wakati nilimwambia, let me tell you one thing. Before we process vizuri, my child will not be born out of wedlock. That's what I told you. Akaniza, what do you mean? Nikamwambia, you just wait. I called my mom. My mom trusted me so much. And I told her, I've gotten a job in Eldoret supermarket, Uchumi branch. And they have told me they're not going to pay me for 3 months. I need money so that I can get an accommodation and all that. My mama kaniuliza, how much are we talking about? Nikamwambia, wewe ukipata 3,000, nitaanza na hiyo 3,000 nitakuwa nakaa kwa besti. My mom never knew it was a lie. And with the 3,000, ambia Nyanza tunafika. Tunaenda kuanza maisha upya. Mimi sitakaa kwa kazini yangu aliniambia, by the best you can do for me, it's to leave my place.
Because of course atablamiwa ni yeye.
Atablamiwa yeye, nilishika mimba nikiwa kwake. Tuka travel that night tukaenda. Nyanza, it's another environment different from Meru. Even the way of life there ni tofauti. And I told this guy, me I believe utapata kazi. You just go to the school where you used to school in high school, look for a job. And God was so faithful. He was told, report on Monday. Amepata kazi, analipwa 10,000.
Hey, sasa roda ako sawa. So mumeenda kwa in-laws?
Tumeenda kwa kina kijana, yes, kwa in-laws now.
Na amekuintroduce aje?
Alikuwa shani introducing, by the everything tulikuwa tumeifanya tu vizuri. Hii mimba sasa ndio ilikuja kuspoil everything. Now, tuko hapo. We are enjoying life, by the
roda, yeah. Okay.
So we are enjoying life, tuko tu sawa. Na the time he was in Nairobi, he used to do some applications za kazi. Na this is now during the holidays. Na akapigiwa simu Nairobi, akaambiwa aje, just come, kuna interview na ujaribu kama unaweza fanya kazi kama hii. Alikuwa ameitwa industrial area dawa company. Inaitwa dawa Noama Dawa Company. Na akaenda pale. So when he left me, unajua nilikuwa nimezoea kukaanga na yeye kila wakati, watu wanaongea Kijaluo mimi sishikanishi. I wouldn't stay there now that is her way. I come up with another lie. Naenda kwa mother-in-law nikamwambia, kijana yako aliacha some documents na zimeitishwa urgently, wacha nimpeleke. Nikapanga tu tunguo twangu na nikafanya nini? Nikaboard gari, nikafika Nairobi. So tumepatana kwa sister yangu. My sister is still.
So all along your parents wanaamini uko kazi Uchumi?
Eldoret, yes.
Wow.
So na hii time before ni travel, kuna guilt. Imenisukuma. I have to tell my dad what is happening to me. And I called my sister, nikamwambia, by the way, mimi siko Eldoret vile niliwaambia, mimi niko Nyanza na niko na mimba. Sister kwa kaniuliza, what are you talking about? Nikamwambia, it is the truth. Na mimi nataka tu you accompany me home. I go and tell my dad the truth. Sister wangu ananiuliza, sasa hii itakuwaje? Nikamwambia, no, I just want your company. Nisaidie nifike Meru.
Wow, I love your courage.
So nikaenda Meru, nikapata mom, nikapata dad, and I talked to my mom. Nikamwambia mom, me I am pregnant na I just wanted you to know that. My mom talks to my dad overnight and my dad is disappointed. Unajua that girl mwenye walikuwa na expect a very big wedding. Now you're pregnant how? So my dad alituma mama kuja niulize, okay, she's pregnant, what does she want? And I tell my mom, I don't want anything from you. I just wanted you to know. Msisikiange Roda kona mtoto na mjui mtoto wangu mimi niko na kazi yangu na nitafanya nini? I'll take care of the kid.
And hujawaambia hata kuna huyu your friend?
Definitely. Sasa kama uko na mimba si definitely kuna mtu, but I told them mimi mtoto wangu nitafanya nini? Nitalea na hata niko na nini? Niko na kazi. Na hapa ndio ile scripture inasemanga, we shall know the truth and the truth will set us free. Kwa maana wakati tulitoka Meru kufika Nairobi, sikumaliza 2 hours, I was called. Na nikapigiwa nikaulizwa, is this Rhoda Nkonge? Yes. Have you ever made any application to this hospital? Yes. Come for an interview.
Wow.
Sasa nikaenda interview. Kufanya after 2 days. Kufanya interview, nikapigiwa nikaambiwa report to work. I get a job as an accounts assistant. And this is now where I started working.
In a hospital and you're expectant.
In
so
a
that
hospital,
really worked for you.
And I'm expectant.
Yeah.
Now this guy naye si amerudi Nyanza, akona ile kazi yake ya walimu.
Oh, hakupata kazi hapa.
Hapana, sasa ako Nyanza. And now the funny thing, wakati nilikaribia kujifungua huyu mtoto, now the guy comes, me I'm like, okay, amekuja kuwitness mtoto akizaliwa. Kumbe he has come to stay. Amekuja kukaa.
So now are you married or you are just trying to manage?
Trying to cover it up. Isikae mtoto amezaliwa bila baba na mama. Oh. So amekuja, me I thought by there atarudi, of which he didn't go back. So ile kazi nimepata after kujifungua siwezi lipwa, kwa maana si ulikuja na mimba, hujamaliza 1 year, so it's gonna be an unpaid leave. And now this is where we began struggling. Tukang'ang'ana na maisha na nakumbuka tulikuwa tunaenda tunatafuta mahali sukuma ya 5 bob inauzwa. Kwa maana silipwi by the way na yeye ana kazi sasa. Kama hiyo sukuma haiko, hiyo siku tutakunywa tu ugali na strungi. And we started struggling, we struggled.
Sasa uko na mtoto?
Niko na mtoto sasa. Sina huyu baba watoto alikaa na huyu kijana yangu for 8 months kama we cannot afford a house girl. So we are struggling in life now. And my parents are wondering, hawa wanakaa aje?
So they now already knew you are married?
Now they knew, yes. They knew now there's this guy. Kwa maana tukuwa na functions, angekuja home.
Na tribe, issue ya tribe, how did they process it?
They can do nothing about
Because
it.
already, yeah.
And now, ni huyu kijana wangu mkubwa, ako 9 months. And all of a sudden, I'm pregnant again.
Jesus.
Aye.
Okay.
Now, ikakuwa ni struggle. So wakati nilikuwa na hii mimba, sikuwa nataka kukula. Kwa maana sikutaka mimba ionekane. Nilikuwa nimekonda tu katumbo ndio kako juu. And my friends would wonder, kwani what's up? And I remember my sister telling me, wewe utakufa tu na umebeba mtoto. Nilianza kukula vizuri nikiwa 6 months. Na wakati nilikuwa najifungua huyu mtoto, I labored for over 24 hours. Finally, I ended up in theater. Nikazaa mtoto na CS. Tukastruggle na maisha, chakula ni shida, wasichana wa kazi wananisumbua, kazi inanisumbua.
Bado your husband hajapata kazi?
Sasa mzee aliniambia just get me a loan of 20,000. Nianze biashara, which I did. Nikampea 20,000 na tukafungua a grocery shop. And the shop was doing well. According to me, the shop was doing well. Kwa maana kama ni kuuza mboga, watu wangepanga line ndio wanunue zile mboga zake. People love this work. But there is a person who does things with all of his heart. Akikata mboga inakaa imekatwa vizuri.
Of course, you understand him, my friend. Yeah.
So he was doing well. I felt he was doing well. Kwa maana we were able to open 2 other branches za mboga na another shop ya kuuza paraffin. But this is my thinking, we are doing well. According to him, he is struggling. And one day he just comes and tells me, there's an opening in Sudan. I want to go to Sudan. Nikamwambia unaenda Sudan kufanya nini? Ati kuna kazi huko, kazi ziko mingi Sudan. Na nikamwambia hapana. Hakunisikiza. Akatafuta means yake, akapata transport na akaenda Sudan. Hizi shops zimeachiwa ndugu yake, mimi bado niko kazi, zimeachiwa ndugu yake. We is unable to manage them. And slowly by slowly we are closing every shop. Tukabaki na ile kubwa sasa. Kidogo tu, after 3 months, he calls me and he tells me, I want my brother to join me in Sudan. Hivyo ndo niliachwa kwa mataa sasa, mimi na watoto wawili na wasichana wa kazi wenye wananisumbua. Wakati alikuwa pale Sudan kulikuwa na vita. This is the time Sudan kulikuwa na vita sana. So even sending money became an issue. Me, I'm struggling on this end. Na ye ile pesa anapata kuituma kuna inflation. Akituma ina double charge. So inafika ikiwa kidogo. Other times you didn't send at all. Hakuna means. I struggled. This time I struggled. Mpaka ikafika wakati sasa hata nyumba I cannot pay. Siwezi accommodate hata house girls wanakuja wakienda. Niko na watoto wawili wenye wako in diapers. Na hii time yenye alikuja tena, alikuja for 1 month. Now I'm pregnant at that time.
Okay.
So, hii pregnancy ikakuwa tu inasonga tu vizuri. Sikuwa na struggles by the way, but I used to have a house girl. Mwenye hakuwa anapenda kufanya kazi sana. Kumbe she was also expecting. Na wakati nilikuwa na huyu msichana ningetoka job, nikuje nipate hajafanya kitu, I'll just do it. Kama ni kuinama ningeinama, ni mop the floor, nioshe vyombo, nifue na tukaendelea tu hivyo. Until one time nilianza kupata complications. Now nikiwa kitu 7.5 months. Na wakati nilienda hospitali nikaambiwa I'm developing labor. This is preterm labor. Na the doctor said that I was going for a CS. Yule mtoto wa pili nimezaa na CS. So kama nitazaa huyu wa tatu definitely itakuwa CS juu hata watoto hawajaachana sana. So nikapangiwa niende CS.
Okay, just hold that thought, our viewer. Wow, this is getting deep. See you after the break.
So, wakati nilifaa niende CS, the doctor mwenye alikuja, si mwenye alikuwa jana, alikuja na aka-cancel everything. Akasema, no, we cannot do this operation. Right there, me naumia. And I was getting bitter now. How come there's a doctor who wants to help me and there's another one who feels hawawezi proceed? It happened 3 times. Na this that time now, nilita daktari. My sister, huyu sister tumekuwa tunakaa na yeye, bwanake used to work with me the same place. Na akamuita akamwambia now utatuelezea what is happening kwa maana she is in pain hata unaweza ona. And the doctor told us if at all she can persevere, huyu mtoto afike hata 37 weeks, it will be better for her. So with that knowledge nikasema basi simni discharge nitoke kwa hospitali, give me hata kama ni dawa za kumaliza uchungu, niende ningangane nione kama the 37 weeks zitafika. So I was given those painkillers, nikaenda kwa nyumba na wakati nilienda kwa nyumba nikaambia Mungu tu anisaidie nivumilie. Remember bado the husband is in Sudan.
And the other kids have you still small?
I still have the small kids na house girls wenye wanasumbua tu. So nilivumilia for close to 3 weeks. This ilipata kama mtoto amefika 37.5 weeks. I wouldn't persevere anymore. So I came
So what was causing the pain?
Shida ya back. Ile kuleba ya kwanza alafu nikaenda CS ilinikosia back pains.
And then also you've not recovered.
Ndio hiyo sasa hiyo kutoa space watoto. Na hizi mimba nilikuanga tu na kasi. By then ningejipata niko na mimba na kasi na Mungu sasa hii ndio shida gani. By the time namaliza kudigest mimba ingine. So this time I just go to the hospital and I sign for myself. Nataka nifanyiwe operation. Na nikaenda nikafanyiwa ile operation na nikarudi kwa ward. Mtoto alikuwa mdogo 2.2 kgs. Kumaanisha ile time angetolewa angekuwa mdogo sana na tungesumbuka by the way. So hii time nimeamka, I'm supposed to be discharged to go home na nurse amekuja na dawa na ameniachia hapo nimeze dawa. Hii ni siku ya discharge. Na wakati nilimeza zile dawa, I coughed. Maji ilininyonga. I coughed continuously and I felt a sharp pain kwa tumbo yangu.
Oh no.
So wakati nisikia ile pain, even the way I used to walk straight now, siwezi tembea straight. Na daktari akakuja kutu discharge. And I'm telling the doctor, nimecough, nasikia uchungu. Na daktari anambia, that's just a cough. Kuna vile tu kucommunicate poa at that point. Kwa maana, he went ahead na akatoa ile bandage ya CS. Na vile alitoa ile bandage, I felt a sharp pain again. And I was discharged home. Wakati nilienda home, tulienda, tukakaa na wale watoto wengine, na nikakula na tukalala, na tukashinda. So wakati tulikuwa pale jioni kitu 7 hivi, watoto walikuwa wamezoea mama anashindanga kulazwa kwa hospitali. So wakiona ninatoka kwa room, aki mama usituache. So this time I tell them, okay, siwaachi, I'm just going to the bedroom, I pick the baby, then I come and we stay all of us in the sitting room to watch sisi wote. So I went to the bedroom, na wakati nilifika karibu na mlango, I noticed some drops of blood. Nikashanga, damu inatoka wapi? So I lifted my top up. And when I lifted that top, my intestines came out, flowing. And I screamed. Wakati, unajua sasa niko kwa mlango, bado sijaingia, nifikie bed. Ndio hizi zishamwagika. Nika scream kwa nguvu. Zikaenda zaidi. Watoto wamekuja na msichana wa kazi, wakaanza kuzishika. Mom, hizi ni nini? Me, I'm confused. I feel I'm dying. Hii ni kifo. Matumbo zote huku, hii ni kifo. Na nimesimama, nilijikokota hivi kando kando, nikaenda nikalala kando ya kitanda. And I'm like, now, what is going to happen to me? I pick my phone and I call my sister. My sister kumbe ako evening classes, hawezi chukua simu. I call my brother-in-law, bwana yake sistangu, hawezi chukua simu. And something told me, just call the hospital where you used to work. Namba yenye napiga ni landline. But I always thank God for the lady who picked the call. She identified my voice. Nakasema huyo ni Roda. Niliongea just kama tumbo zangu zote ziko nje, mimi nakufa. Na sasa hawajui kwangu. Thank God for my brother who used to work in the same place. They call him na wakamwambia just your sister-in-law amepiga, amesema matumbo zimefanya nini? Zimemwagika. Yeye alienda tu kwa bedroom akapata simu yake imejaa missed calls mingi. Na ndio sasa akakuja. Na wakati alikuwa anakuja, akaita watu, kujeni mnisaidie, kuna mgonjwa wako wapi? Ako hapa, tumpeleke kwa hospitali. And people are still people. Nobody came. Alikuja tu yeye na ndugu yake. I remember the house I used to stay, ilikuwa na steep stairs. Unajua matumbo sasa ziko huku, hata kunibeba ni shida. We struggled. Na akaniweka kwa gari yake. Na ile kukula nilikuwa nimekula sasa, now that zimepigwa na hewa, I had to vomit everything. Na hapo ndio ile time zikitoka, mimi sisikii uchungu by the way, ni ile kuogopa, naona hii ni kifo sasa. But after vomiting, the epigastric pain ilinichoma. Now I was screaming in pain, and the more I scream, the more zinatoka. So he called me akiwa kwa gari, akaniambia Roda, akusikia nimeitika na kajua I have lost her. So aliweka gari mbio, hata bumps tu anapiga. The more anapiga bumps, the more zinatoka. So tulifika kwa reception na akaingia tu akiita kila mtu. Now that he worked in that place, anaingia na anaita kila mtu. Na wenye wako night shift wananiona, wanarudi. Kuliko wanisaidie wanarudi, wanaona huyu ni kama ameenda. Wanarudi. So finally they just came, wakanichukua, wakaenda wakasuka hizo intestines kwa distilled water for some time, wakachoka, wakaniwheel to theater. I think they felt huyu hata survive. Walinisukuma wakaniacha theater. Na wakati nilikuwa pale theater, I would talk to God the way I'm talking to you, and I would tell God.
They did not even try to sew them in or to call the doctor or anything.
Daktari hawapatikani. Hii ni close to midnight now. Niliachwa theater for close to 45 minutes alone, nalia huko peke yangu nikiongelesha tu Mungu. Naambia Mungu
in pain.
Yes. Mungu tu nisaidie, aki Mungu sitaki kukufa saizi, akiona tu kale katoto kadogo nimezaa, hata baba yao mtoto hayuko Kenya, Mungu mimi nitakufa niachia watoto wangu nani? I talked to God for minutes and all of a sudden nilisikia nimepata nguvu na kufungua macho. I saw someone walking in theater na nikamkwamilia mkono. He was a doctor, he was a gynecologist. Nikamwambia Dr. Mutiso, I will not die as you watch. Akashtuka mbona nimemwambia hivyo. Akaniambia Rhoda, I'm going to help you but you know I cannot do it alone. I have to get an anesthetist mwenye ataweka the anesthesia ndio we do the operation. Nikamwambia ni sawa na nikalala tena. So we are waiting for the anesthetist now. Na nimelala pale close to 30 more minutes. And all of a sudden the guy comes na akafungua the sheet yenye ilikuwa imenifunika. Na akasema, "Oh my God." Na sasa mimi kusikia hivyo nikajua kwa nini ninakufa tu na Mungu? Mimi ninaona tu nikikufa. Akaambia the nurses, "Where is the surgeon?" The nurses wakamwambia, "We don't have a surgeon, we have a gynecologist." Akasema a gynecologist cannot touch this case. Hii ni kesi ya surgeon. I'm hearing as they converse. Na anasema, the gyna anasema, wewe weka dawa mimi nikuje nifanye operation. Huyu anamwambia, "You cannot proceed, it's not your case." Wakavurutana for some time na mimi nauliza Mungu, aki Mungu nitakufa tu na watu wako hapo wakunisaidia. And then the anesthetist tells the nurses, just document everything. Just in case anything happens, at least I told him it was not his case. They went ahead and the gynecologist even his license and he operated me. I thank God I got healed.
Wow. I'm relieved. So Dr. Mutiso...
Dr. Mutiso is my hero. He saved my life. Lakini, it's like, vitu zilikuwa zinanifuata tu. Vitu zilikuwa zinanifuata tu kwa maana.
So how long did it take you to heal from that?
Over months now. Ile mpaka naogopa kukula kwa maana naona ni kama itatoboka tena. And my kids walikuwa naambia kila mtu akikutana, mama yetu alimwagika matumbo.
Oh my God.
So now we are still struggling with life. My husband had to come. I lost the house girl at that point after discharge. Sasa niko peke yangu. Nioshe nyumba na watoto watatu. Huyu akilia, huyu analia, huyu analia. Msichana asiyeliepa. Nikabaki peke yangu. So ninasonga, nimekaa kwa floor, nipanguze, nioshe nguo kama nimekaa. And I texted my husband and I told him, if you are not coming, utapata sisi wote tumekufa. Akashanga. The following day he was here in Kenya. Na wakati alikuja sasa, remember the bills zenye zilikuwa zina accrue. Bado ziko zimemgoja. Kwa maana alikuwa anasema now that kutuma pesa from Sudan ni expensive, I will pay when I come back. Na wakati alikuja, hakukuja na pesa. The little money he had, he gave to the cousin wafanye biashara. Ika backfire on them. So he doesn't have money, even me I don't have money, niko na hospital bills zenye nakatwa. Na tujalipa nyumba for 2 months. Na ikakuwa serious now that hatuna pesa. Landlady akakuja kwa nyumba, akanisomea seriously. Na mimi nikasikia hii maisha mimi sasa mimi siwezi.
And you're not sharing with your parents or family?
My parents are disappointed in me. Na wamekuwa wanatusaidia lakini hawawezi nisaidia all my life.
I know.
So ikakuwa ni struggle. Bwanangu akaniambia nao penye imefika, mimi I'm going to Nyanza. Acha hii kazi yako tuende Nyanza. Na mimi nikamwambia siwezi acha hii kazi. Hii kazi ndio imekuwa inatulisha. Nikaenda kwa kazi. Okay. Akasema mimi nimeenda. Mkiamua kunifuata ni sawa but for me I have left. Na hii time ilipata kama my first born and my second born singeweza kukaa na wao juu ya bills. Nilikuwa na msichana wa kazi na huyu mtoto mdogo. Even my sister alikuwa kwa yule sister mwingine na yeye akakuja pia na mtoto wake. Hata ile shida nilikuwa na kusovika cause I released 2 and I got 2. So tuko hapo sisi wanne. Msichana wa kazi wetu pia ameenda. Mzee pia amefanya nini? Ameenda. Tumebaki sisi wanne na I went to work na nikaambia the lady was responsible for making duty rosters. Nikamwambia okay, mimi usiniweke kwa duties kwa maana sioni nikitoboa na hii kazi. I've worked here for close to 9 years now. 7 years. Akaniuliza kwani Rhoda hii ni shida gani hatuwezi solve hapa? Nikamwambia sijalipa rent for 2 months. Akaniuliza tukikupea 10,000 itakusaidia. Nikasema labda nilipe yule mama nimbembeleze asitufukuze. Nikapoa hiyo pesa tukalipa. Wakati tulilipa si tuliendelea kukaa. I wake up very sick now. I think the stress was too much on me. And I woke up very sick. Na nika ignore ile back pain imerudi serious na sitaki kuidigest na najiambia hapana, I'm strong. I did everything in the house. My sister was still in the bedroom. Na wakati ilifika sasa nikae chini hata nikunywe breakfast, I wouldn't sit down. The pain was too much. I was very sick. Nilikuja nikapelekwa hospitali and I was to be admitted. Wakati hiyo siku niliadmitiwa, walipata niko na infection ya damu, infection ya mkojo, sijui nini, wakaniweka drip moja huku na drip ingine hapa. Wakati ilifika midnight, nikaona blackout and now I was in great pain, sipumui, hata sioni mtu, I'm in great pain. And now I told God, okay, I think I've been a lot with you, God. Kama ni kukufa si uniache tu nikufe roho safi. Why all this pain and you want to take me? Na nikaambia Mungu nichukue tu roho safi. Nimechoka, nichukue tu roho safi. Na Mungu alinipea nguvu. Nilisikia tu nimepumua. Na wakati nilipumua hivyo, a spirit told me ring the bell. Nikakwamilia ile kengele kwa nguvu. Nurses walikuja wakanisurround, nurses wengi. Na wakatoa hizo drips zote and one of the nurses said Rhoda was dying. Na nikaamka, nikaweza nilikuwa na I had turned black mwili yote.
And it was a reaction.
It was a reaction ya zile dawa. Na wakati hizo dawa zilitolewa, daktari akakuja akaniona, wanapima tena hakuna ugonjwa wanapata. And I told them now, discharge me. Let me just go home hata ni digest. Nijue maisha yangu inaenda juu hata mimi sielewi. Nikadischargiwa na bili ya over 130,000.
Na sasa uko single mom kwa nyumba?
Niko single mom na watoto sasa. Na wakati nilienda home, nilikuwa na leave yangu ya 52 days zenye sikuwa nimepewa. I filled the forms za leave wanipe. They gave me 22 days na wakanipea 7 sick offs. Kumaliza siku 3 kwa nyumba na I'm being called to go back to work. That is the day I made a final decision. Nikaambia Mungu, hii kazi imeisha. Nimejaribu kuipepetea, haikubali. Mimi niko na bills, hospitali ndio hiyo bills pia wananidai. And I called my dad. Nikamwambia dad, hii kazi yenye tumekuwa tunasema niko nayo imeisha leo hii. Kwa maana hakuna vile naweza toka kwa hiyo kitanda nikikufa, after 3 days wananiita nirudi kazi. Narudi kazi na nguvu gani? My dad akaniuliza, "Mom, umeamua tu hivyo?" Nikamwambia, "Yeah, nimeamua tu hivyo." Na nikaanza kuuza vitu za nyumba. Most of my things went free of charge kwa maana nile unauza mwezi sikupate tena, madeni zimeaccrue, I cannot pay. So all the money that I got kwa kuuza vitu zingine, nikalipa hizo deni zote and we traveled back to Meru now with my sister and with the 2 kids.
So because time is over, where are you now?
Okay.
Did you reunite with your husband?
My husband came akaleta watu wake, tukaenda Nyanza, ikakuwa struggle ingine, but nikiwa pale now I was becoming so bitter na nilikuwa na stress mingi. Na one day I just woke up and I told God, I want to be positive now. Nimekuwa negative sana, hii negativity imeni affect sana and I chose to think positively. Na hiyo time nikapigiwa simu nikapata kazi with Comarock Modern. I thank God I'm right there. That is where I'm working. It has also been another journey. Yeah, I thank God.
And your husband is now working?
Yeah, my husband got a job. Kutoka kwa wale watu wenye alikuwa amepea ile pesa, biashara ikaanguka. Now there are his employers.
And how old are your kids now?
My last born, we were hizi shida ana turn 8.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. What a testimony, our viewers. Indeed, God is a restorer. A journey of affliction has finally come to an end, and we pray that it shall be well with Rhoda. From us is God bless you. Bye-bye.